Audio.etc. is proudly supported by Auto Sound and Security. Good morning, YouTube. I today have got a lovely old yellow Holden Special, a 1964 Holden Special. Is that the model? Is it just called a Special? It says Holden on the back. Hydromatic. Ooh, Hydromatic. 179. Grant, do you know why it's just called a Holden Special, or is that something just to do with the importation and they just called it a Special? Don't know. Oh, it actually does say Special. No, it is a Special. Look, we've got Special on the side. So this, so this interesting old yellow bug is getting a pretty basic, a full sound system, but a pretty basic one. No amplifier or subwoofer at this stage. It might be something he's looking at coming back and getting done later on, but at this stage they weren't wanting to spend too much money on it, but they still want to get some sounds in here because at the moment it's got nothing. So it has got a slot for the factory shaft mounted radio in there. There was actually a really nice trim panel on top of here when he brought it in to show me that like matched the shape of the dash with the silver trim, but that's where the stereo is going to go, so I got that off for him. And yeah, we're going to put a Singleton radio in here, obviously. This customer is one of the few people in the world who are actually happy with me, you know, cutting up the door cards on his old car. Most people are like, nope, don't touch them, they're original, you can't, don't put your hands on the door cards. But this guy is actually cool with it. So we are putting some speakers here and here. Originally I was thinking we'll just put a coaxial here, but then I thought, oh, it looked quite cool since we've got this whole L shape going on. If we, actually it's a U, isn't it? If we put a woofer here and a tweeter here just to raise the treble up just a tiny little bit, and it should completely clear the window winder like that, and also the window stops here, so behind here there's not going to be any window, which is good for us because we don't have to worry about depth. Obviously Sam on the other side. In the back there's obviously no speakers. We're not doing them in the doors, we're going to do some 6x9s on the parcel tray, which won't be easy. I'm going to have to do some cutting. This whole car is going to need cutting, to be honest. I'm going to have to cut the dash up just to fit the stereo in. I'm going to have to cut holes in these door cards and in the middle of the door to fit speakers in. And I'm going to have to cut the parcel tray to fit speakers in the back there as well. Oh my god, that light is working. Don't touch that, that's probably brittle. Holy crap, a lot of stuff in this work surprisingly works. In this car, sorry. Like usually we get old cars like this. And it's funny because usually it's the other way around. Usually the exterior is absolutely beautiful and the interior is usually pretty average and the electrics hardly ever work, but this car is like the other way around. The exterior is a wee bit like, you know, dingy, there's quite a few rust spots and paint spots and stuff like that, but the interior on this car actually really, really nice, and pretty much all of this stuff along here works. Like, that's ignition, the lights work, amazing, interestingly, the wiper works, whoops, choke. I haven't tested the cigarette lighter. Is there a horn on this? What's this? Indicator? Left indicator? Yeah, it all works. What's it? That's the gear shifter. Oh, this is the horn. Oh my god, the horn works. Love it. And more than anything that surprises me, the old fan works. Like, these things never work in these old cars. So we got slow and fast. Truly amazed that that is working. Also, I've noticed that this key barrel does, as you can see there, have an accessory position. So that's going to be good for me. It means I don't have to wire it up to ignition. I should be able to find a power supply for accessory there. In the old cars, like on Americans anyway, so you got lock there, and then to the left, wait, I'm already on accessory. So you got off, lock, which is where you leave the barrel when you take the key out. You go off, on, which is ignition, and then start. But to the left of lock, you got accessory. So what's this car having? At first I thought we were going to do like a 6x9 up on the dash here, since there is a factory 6x9 grille, but we're not going to do that since we're doing a full stereo setup. So this car is having a Alpine UTE-62EBT stereo. So no CD player, he doesn't need one, but it's a really nice Bluetooth and media receiver, good quality DAC, like 24-bit. plays FLAC files, all of the good sound stuff is in there. On the rear parcel tray, we're going to put some Alpine RS69s, the good old Type R 6x9s. These are like a go-to 6x9 for any time we're ever doing something parcel tray related, especially on the cars with these great big boots. 6x9s up on the parcel tray over a big boot like this, sound awesome. And then in the front doors, some Alpine Type R 6.5 inch components. Yeah, woofer, tweeter. Woofer's gonna go here, tweeter's gonna go there, if it's possible. Of course, this could all change really quickly once I start doing the job, because with old cars, you never know what you're gonna find, and you never know if you're gonna run into obstacles that physically prevent you from being able to do a job. But anyway, I need to crack into it. It's gonna be a 2-day job. It is here overnight, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. I really want to get into it and start doing it. Also, how does the audio quality sound? I'm now using a Rode Video Micro with a little dead cat. So hopefully the quality is decent and there isn't too much background noise. I haven't done much testing with it yet though, but hopefully it's been a good investment. Man, even the headlight, like the roof, that must have been redone because that's beautiful. It's like untouched cream vinyl. Oh wait, there is a mark up there. Still though, very, very good condition on the inside. I have to get speaker wires into this door somehow. Probably have to drill through the kick panel out of the metal here, and then the vice versa. I'll have to drill from the inside of the door out of this wall and then have conduit going between them. Yeah, okay. So the very first step that I usually do in these old cars is I start off with the stereo, obviously, and first thing I'm gonna do is start carving up that dash to be able to fit a singleton cage in there. That's my priority. And then after that, I move on to wiring. I'll mount the microphone somewhere. And then I really need to start taking the car apart to do some wire running. Sweet. Okay, there we go guys. Got the hole made up, big enough for a cage now. This just slots in, as long as you get it straight. There we go. Just got to get it on the right angle. It slots all the way in there. So I'm going to start looking at doing some wiring for the stereo now. Whoop, stay in focus. And Grant is going to start looking at doing the speakers over on the front left door. Get a bit more done since he's not doing anything. So for me, the fuse box, fortunately, is right there, so I should be able to find my permanent and accessory and maybe even illumination wires up and behind there. I'd like to get all of them if I can, and I'll go from there. Only thing I have to be careful of is right up in there, there's a whole lot of moving parts, like mechanics for this manual heater. I don't want to get any wires caught up in behind there if I can help it, because all of this stuff moves. Yeah, okay. Okay guys, putting along nicely. Got the wiring for the head unit done. I got the microphone pretty much done, and Grant at the moment is working on mounting the front left speaker. He's having a jolly old time with that window winder handle. It was locked on with magic. But anyway, I got my power wires from the fuse box, which is just hiding up under there. I dropped that down and managed to find terminals that were unused on the back of it. Oh, sorry, in focus, thank you. There was a fuse down here that was in here labelled radio, and that wasn't being used, and that had my accessory source on it, so I was able to use that. This little one down in the corner here had the illumination signal on it, and it was being used, but it also had a spare terminal on it that I was able to tap onto. And then there wasn't a spare terminal for permanent, so what I ended up doing was this fuse here, like that little clamp there was empty, but it does have permanent on it. So what I was able to do is get one of these fuses, attach it in there, and then if you can see, unfortunately there wasn't a clamp at the other end of it for me to pop it into, but what I ended up doing was just soldering a yellow wire on the end of the fuse there, and then that runs off and becomes more permanent. So, I mean, unfortunately if the permanent wire does blow, it does mean you have to like unsolder it and then solder a new one in, but I mean, realistically speaking, the only reason the permanent fuse should blow is if there's a short in the wiring somewhere, and all of my wiring is twisted up and covered in Tessa tape and everything, so I doubt that's going to happen. So that could just sit up a wee bit higher. Oh, not too high, just like that is fine, thank you. So yeah, got it all in the fuse box in a nice OEM fashion without having to do any, you know, splicing or tapping on or having any inline fuses, because I was able to use all the OEM fuses. That's good. And then I got the speaker wires run. That was pretty easy. I just had to sort of run speaker wires from the hole behind all this stuff and sort of come out somewhere convenient. These old cars are pretty easy to run wires in because you pretty much just have to like sort of drape them along behind this whole sort of the rail here. This kind of piece here is all like a shelf which kind of holds up all the wiring, and you don't really need to do any cable tying. You can just kind of almost, you know, drape it along there. I just sort of go over top of all the existing cables and wires and got that. And so what I did for the microphone was, and now it's fallen down again, but it is around here somewhere. Where's it gone? Oh, it's right there. So there's this little hole in the dash here already. So what I want to do is try and just mount the microphone. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm pointing it at. I want to try and just mount the microphone through like that in some way. You know, I just have to do some testing though and see if it needs to be fully out like this to get good signal, or if I can get away with having it flush back in like that. Because in the past I have had problems with microphones and only having the front grille, you know, visible to sound. Sometimes the microphones want sound to go in the side ones in order for it to work. But anyway, I'll try and do something nice with that hole to kind of cover it up, because everything else about the car is nicely covered up. There aren't any holes in it. So if I could cover that one in with a microphone, it'd be good. And for the ground, pretty simply, I just used, you can't see it, but the other bolt on the other side of this thing in behind there, just loosened it off a wee bit, shoved the ground crimp in there and tightened it back up. And I've tested it and it's all working, so that's good. So all that's left to do wiring wise is the rear speaker wires, which I will use some trailer cable for. Some nice 10 amp stuff. By the way, I've used a 10 amp wire for the speakers in this car, which even though is more than you really need when you're powering it just off a head unit, these are Alpine Type R's and they're gonna hopefully sound really good and grunty, and I wanna get as much current flow to them as I possibly can. So 10 amps for the speaker wires, and then I'll use 10 amp trailer cable for the rear ones, and I've left the aerial power remote wire out as well, because we've got a little powered disc aerial coming in on a courier hopefully sometime today. We're supposed to be a Monday delivery, and I've already spoken to the customer about this. Like, we were talking about different aerial options, and ultimately he came to conclusion he liked the idea of just having a nice simple sort of disc aerial thing sitting over on the corner of the dash there. We did talk about, you know, internal window strip ones, and we did talk about external ones on the outside of the car, like fender aerials, and he just wanted it to be real simple. So that's what we're doing. So now what I need to do, I think, is probably start taking some panels off the car, like the kick panels, and I have to figure out what side I'm going to run the rear speaker wires down. I might do that side on just over on Grant's side, because it's going to be easier to get the wires all over there, so I can take some of that out. Might look at taking some of the rear seat apart so I can get up to the parcel tray and look at doing some stuff for the 6x9s. But it's going good. It's going good for my part anyway. Grant's having a wee bit of trouble with the speakers. You guys saw in the time lapse, he's been ages trying to get this thing off because the clips are really tiny and well in behind this massive disc thing. Anyway, cracking on. Holy shit, guys. That's one whole cut, and she wasn't easy. It's thick steel, it's very strong, and at this hole, and it's hard position to be in. And at this back section, where my hole lines up, it just sort of starts meeting that box section there, which runs the whole way along there. You can see that. Just had to carve a wee bit of it out. You can see if you look from above, it's not dead vertical, but that's okay because I've test fitted it and the speaker does fit in. Just also so you know, the reason there's two holes there is because there was already a hole there. My one is the one closest to the hole. And Grant has got one of the doors done. Looks good. Good fun, eh? Good fun. For the wiring, you can see there he's just done, this is how we do our wires in cars that don't already have a grommet. We do an S-loop with some shield conduit sort of stuff there to protect it against from getting crushed. But the reason we do an S-loop like that is so that when the door pivots, it doesn't like crunch it up, and like if you just went from here to here, when you close it, it would like just sort of crush it and make it move all over the place. But doing it this way, when you pivot it, it kind of just twists as opposed to folds. So it's a better way to do it. Have you put grommets in there, or is it just, if you just drilled a hole that's just the right size for the conduit?
Just the right size, well actually the ribs on the conduit hold it in place.
Oh, cool.
So it doesn't go in and out.
Sweet as. Yeah, and those speakers look good. Alpine R series. Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice, I like. Oh, and the crossover, I didn't show it you guys, but right just to the left of the tweeter there, yeah, just below the tweeter, there's another structural box section just below it, and Grant's got the crossover just hidden inside there, just literally stuck down onto the onto the, what do you call it, the square
box section.
Box section sort of stuff, so it's just hidden in there.
Just sitting on something like that,
yeah,
which
exactly.
is on the inside of here.
Yeah, so it's just hidden behind the card there on some metal. And there's no worries about water getting to it as well, because as you'll see, the up and down window, the window that goes up and down is this one here on the left. So it goes down there, and this whole section of the door doesn't ever see water or moisture, because this window here is the type that just sort of twists like that. So very little chance of any water getting in there. Also, there was another box section up above the tweeter as well. It's quite structural, these doors, that's why the cars are so heavy. So like there's section up here and section down here. So the crossover is pretty well protected from any moisture or anything like that. Now I think he's getting ready to start on the driver's side. It's been another 4 hours getting that window winder off. Absolute good time. I've just spent some many hours carving this hole out, as you've seen, and the speaker does fit in it, and the speaker also fits in the what do you call it, parcel tray cover that I've cut. And I'll show you the wiring after I've done that side, because I've just stuck this sheet up to try and catch some of the file shavings, and I'll show you it after I take that back down. But yeah, it's going good. It's 20 past 1 now. I might pause and take some lunch and then get stuck back into it afterwards. So in the meantime, I might start up a time lapse following Grant doing the front right door there. Are you having lunch now as well? Okay, cool. Lunchtime. 1 butter chicken later. Okay guys, what I think I'll do now before I get back into cutting apart that parcel tray again, because that's really hot and hard work. I think now that Grant is finished on this side, I will finish wiring up the rear speaker wires. I've just, now that he's out of here, I've gotten it all under the carpet and up and out of the hole. So that didn't take too long, that was pretty easy. So I'm just going to quickly finish off soldering those wires. Oh, I can't put the head unit in yet because I haven't got the aerial. I can put the cage in and I can slot the stereo in, but I won't lock it in the whole way because I still need to install the aerial once it arrives in the post. But I'll get that done, that way I can get the stereo in and maybe get some sound out of it. There we go, got the stereo in the hole. It's not slotted all the way in, it's just, you know, halfway in there because I'm going to have to take it back out at some point anyway. So that's wired up and going. Check that there's sound coming out of the speaker. So far, even with just one speaker, it already sounds pretty decent. So I'm looking forward to hearing what it sounds like with 2 6s and 2 6x9s. It's going to sound great. Grant's just starting on doing the front right speaker set, and I'm about to crack back into cutting that parcel tray up again for the right hand channel. So the way I've been doing this, guys, the best way I can really, is, I mean, I did what I could with the jigsaw. I mean, there's limited space because the windscreen is right here. It's pretty clean though, so it doesn't show up on camera. But I did what I could to cut the centerpiece out with the jigsaw, but it doesn't really let me go very far around with it, and I can't come really too far this way because it starts getting kind of thick and tricky for it. So after that, I moved on to using the nibbler, and this is really good. We use this a lot because it's right angles, so it's perfect for being in parcel trays or for doing cars, for doing doors, I mean. And that's really good at just sort of cutting its way and eating away through the single layer sheet metal. It's a bit tricky, but it can get around these funky little curves. So that worked good for most of when I was doing that hole, but really in the end, it leaves really nasty you know, cut lines, so you can't really finish with that. Either way, I would have had to have used the power file to clean up the line, but then for this whole edge here, where the nibbler couldn't do it because it had become double layer steel, then I had to use the power file to just do pretty much most of that, and it just takes time and sweat. So that's the process I've got for doing this. Just jigsaw out the center brace, get a majority of the metal away, and then start nibbling at it, and once the nibbler can do no more, then I just power file the hell out of it. So I'm going to do that now, but you guys have seen me do that one there, so this time around the time lapse is going to be watching Grant do the front right door, so you guys can have a quick look at that since this is going to be the exact same, and then I'll check back in with you and see who gets done first, me cutting up or Grant installing. Okay, there we go guys. Second hole cut. That's ready to go back in. And then the 6x9s can go in. I do need to put some crimps on the wires, but I can probably do that from this end anyway. And Grant's doing pretty decent. He's got the holes completely cut in the door, and I'm pretty sure he's done the door cut as well. Now he's just doing the wiring side of things. But anyway, let's put this thing back in. Okay, let's tuck this under here, like that. Make all of that line up. Oh, I need to lift this up. I need to take all this duct tape off. Hop, hop. That one, and okay. I'm pretty sure this vinyl stuff is supposed to be like folded in half. Okay, let's get some 6x9s. Stay, camera. Okay. Hopefully all the screw holes line up, eh? And terminals are going to go on the outside, direct side of the car. Actually, you know what? The wiring might be easier to do before I put the speakers in. I think I will do that. These need to be about that long. One, oops. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Plug this speaker in now. The tweeter. What angle should I face the tweeter? We'll go forwards and to the outside of the car. Now the trick is absolutely going to be getting all of the screws to line up with the holes. Alright, now this grill thing has to come out. Okay. Righty. Ooh, this last one's tough. It's through 2 layers of steel. Cool, I think they're all tight. Yep. And the tweeter. One facing forwards and outwards. Like that. There we go. Now this grill thing can go back on. If I can get it separated from this thing. Good. Oh. Okay. These things. Sometimes tricky to get on. If we get the back lined up first. There we go. That's one done. Let me just put the sticker on it. Okay. One sticker. Okay. One sticker. Just like that. Then peel his little film off. Boom. There we go. Looking good. Grant's just finishing the wiring on the front one. Move your hand out of the way, show me where the crossover is. Don't know if you guys can see that. Just sitting in there. Put this one back in. I think probably will get this done today, in all honesty. Oh wait, no, we need that aerial to arrive. On Friday, on Friday I spoke to Nick and said, can we get something for a Monday delivery? Because it was like, you know, right after the weekend. He said, yeah, we can sort that out, no worries. Monday delivery. But it's Monday. The delivery hasn't come, so yeah. Oh wait, let's angle the tweeter first. We need to go to the outside and forward a wee bit. There we go. Stay down, motherfucker! Sticker. Done. There we go, guys. Rear right one done. It's trying to focus on the reflection on the Type R. Oh, there it is, there's the reflection of the trees. That focus. That looks good. Nice. I think Grant is just finishing up on the front right. Those look good. Sweet as. So now I just need to tidy up back here, get the vacuum back here and get rid of as many metal shavings and filings as I can. Like you can see here, there's a bunch of them kind of all clogged up. Oh, and it focused, there we go. All clogged up. So, yeah, just do a clean up and put the rear half of the car back together. Sweet as. In fact, we could probably, let's just, the knees. If you guys ever want to have dodgy knees later on in life, definitely get into car audio. That's real good for you. Let's turn this to accessory. All the speakers should be going. Ooh. No, I don't want to pair it, thank you. Sounds good already. Whoa! That loud. Once we close the boot and the doors and everything, I reckon the bass would definitely increase, but that's a lot of mid-range. We may need to do a wee bit of tuning on the EQ there because that was bright. Oh, that's all good. Let's just hold off. Let's just hold off on that for now and tidy the car up. Get it back together. Before I put the back seats in, I remember that I said I'd show you guys what I did for wiring once I cleared the catch rags out. Basically, you can see it sort of comes up along the carpet, down up inside there, and then just pops out sort of there, at which point the two of the wires in the lot split off, a duct just taped down to come up, and they just go up under there, and then eventually they just sort of pop over the top of this NDF here, and then the rest of it just carries on, goes behind there a wee bit, pops up, and then does the same thing, just jumps over top of the NDF and plugs onto the speaker. Okay, there we go guys. It's pretty much complete, bar the aerial, which should have arrived today but didn't, so oh well. It is staying overnight, so we'll do that tomorrow. Did with the once over with the vacuum, cleaned everything up, cleaned up the boot, put the seats back in, and in the process absolutely caned my fingernail. There's like a difference between when a woman says she broke a nail and when a guy says he broke a nail, because when a guy breaks a nail, he seriously breaks a nail. Oh man, don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like punctured. Oh, don't want to gross you guys out with that too much, but yeah, I got my finger stuck between the top half of the rear seat and one of the big hooks that it's supposed to hit onto. Of all the places for me to have my hand when I'm trying to put it back on, I have it right in the frickin' way, and I cracked my nail open. Ugh, hurts. Anyway, shit happens. Moving on, let's have a listen, and I'm also going to do a test for the hands-free and see how I go with the microphone. At the moment I've got it just sort of sitting out of the hole. Whoops, wrong way. I need to see if it sounds good with it just sitting out of the hole, or if it needs to be out further. I wonder if it'll ask my phone to pair as well. Pairing. Yes. That's running just off a head unit. Dang, those Type R's. This is why they're a go-to 6x9 for rear parcel trays, because those things are loud and bassy. And that's just off a head unit. That was about 23 out of 30 on the volume. I'm not sure where these stereos start to distort at or clip at on their, built-in amplifier, because I haven't done a dyno on it. Maybe when I get a SMD DD1 one day I'll be able to do that sort of thing. But it sounds good. Let's try a different song. I just want to see how much bass I can get out of these 6x9s, eh?
Get ready for a jolt.
It's clear, it's very clear. There we go. Set some crossovers. Got the rears set to 25 Hz at a 24 dB slope. So that's basically just an infrasonic So I've basically just got an infrasonic filter on for the rear 6x9 since they go so low. 25 Hz at a 24 decibel slope, so absolutely all the frequencies except for like sub-bait, like absolute subsonic stuff. And then the front just a bit higher up at 63 Hz at a 12 dB slope, just a basic high pass filter there. I wish I had, I need pink noise and an RTA. I've got an RTA app on my phone, but I haven't got any way to put pink noise into it. Okay, that is sounding good. I'm happy. Oh, so I need to check the phone. Let's call Grant, shall we?
Hello, James.
Hey Grant, how does it sound? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's pretty wet.
It's alright, hold on, let me move the microphone. Okay, that's with it all the way out.
Yeah, that's better.
It is better? Yeah.
Yeah.
See if I put it all...
Without, when you got it in, when you got it faced.
That's with it in.
Yeah, that's terrible, because I can hear myself as well.
Yeah? Okay, so if I have it all the way out, can you still hear yourself now?
No, it's gone away.
That's interesting. Must have...
So it does need all the microphone.
Must have noise cancelling in it.
Must be.
Okay, so I need to have it sticking out like that then. Okay, I'll try and figure out a way to mount that. Thank you.
Bye.
Well, there we go. So I need to mount the microphone with all the grills outside and in the way of sound, as opposed to just the front one. So I'll do that, and then this car will be almost done. But the sounding's so good. That's why these Alpine Type Rs have been our go-to for so long, and they still are. They just always, especially running just straight off a stereo, they always just overperform. They're awesome. They do such a good job. Huge crowd pleaser. Okay. There you go, guys. I found quite a good way to do the microphone. I started by cutting off the little ball joint there so that I could get this. This is a rubber grommet. If I can focus there. Focus. It's hard because it's black. This is a rubber grommet which I found in our little collection that fit the hole quite nicely. Man, it's really hard to see, isn't it, because there's no light. Let me get a torch on it, you guys will be able to see. So that there's just a black rubber grommet that fit around the middle pretty well. And then all I do is just poke this back in there, all the way in. There we go. And now it looks quite good. It looks like a little joystick of some kind. And it's like, it's held in there well, but like if you hit it, it's not going to do any damage to it because it's just sort of suspended in rubber. So that's good. And it kind of matches the decor of the rest of the car. Like you've got like these things sticking directly out, all those switches there are sticking directly out. So it kind of does match along those lines. A wee bit of chrome would have helped, but not a big deal. I'm quite happy with that. Sweet as. So that's the microphone sorted. Let's get these out of here. So that is everything done apart from now just the aerial, which I'm a bit confused by. It was supposed to arrive today. I've got a bit of time. I might call up the supplier and ask them what the deal with that is. And yeah, hopefully that better arrive tomorrow, because that shouldn't take me long. Okay, yep, there we go. Spoke to the supplier of our aerial. He's chasing it up. That's as far as I got. He's finding out where it is. Okay, so yeah, that's it, guys. Show you what some of the things, what they look like. They look good there. I like it. Nice. Stereo, not slotted all the way in, but it will be. And then at the back, just got 6x9s. They're looking good. Very, very good. Turn it to accessory, and it turns on. There we go. And the colours look good as well. Got the keys set to yellow and the screen set to white. Kind of matches what's going on here with the yellow and the chrome. Yeah, looks good. Nice and clear as well. Oh, and the dimmer works as well. So if I pull on the lights, you guys can see it dimming. So that's all worked very, very well. Nicely done. Glad we got it all done in a day as well. It was good having Grant help me. As fun as he is. Okay. Well, that's about everything I think from me today, guys. But If the aerial was here, I could have finished this video today, but I can't, so unfortunately you guys are gonna have to wait a day. So you guys can blame the courier for that. So I don't need to do an outro. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, how's it going? Next day, good morning. So the aerial has shown up for the Holden Special. Let's take this apart and get that in real quick and call the job done. That is this is a DNA AXA 400. Apparently it works for AM and FM, but I'm not getting my hopes up too high for AM. Comes with more accessories than I remember. So we got there, that's like a little base. Has that got a sticky film on it? Maybe. Sit down, shall we? Oh yeah, so this looks like it just sort of slots in there. I don't know what that switch on the side there does, but we shall read, because not often do aerials come with instructions, but when they do, it probably pays to read them. Okay, there's more on the back. Oh, it's a window antenna. I was going to just mount it on the top of the dash. Whoa, what are they? Oh, this is more complicated than I remember. What the hell is all this stuff? So that's the pretty little disc that goes on top of it. That is a thing that helps you know where to place it. Those are clear disc things. This, oh okay. This aerial isn't what I remember it to be, Grant. I thought we did one of these disc aerials a while ago and it was just like that. That's it. But there's things that come with it, like adhesive wings. Floppy ones, not rigid ones. Wait, I can't put it on the window. That's got a big metal shield on it. I thought, because on the picture...
Put it in the corner window, so one goes up and one goes down. A sideways. So they go on the L shape.
Don't know if it lets you. How do they attach? Wait, can you do... Looks like you could... Oh yeah, you can do the corner. I could do the corner, I think.
I remember the last disc one was just a disc.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe it was missing.
I thought it was just like something you went and that's it. But this one, it comes with the wings and everything as well. It looks the exact same, like it's got that that DNA chrome top thing, and that is the base, and then it comes with these wings and little thingies. It's complex, man. Clean the window, attach the base plate onto template, peel off film base. What? This goes onto this template. Oh my god, it does. Crazy.
Who says 7 stars are only for hotels?
There we go, guys. 20 minutes later, stereo's in, and the aerial's done. Doesn't look too bad. It's obviously not what I was expecting. Now, if I can get the focus to work in this low light. So it's like, yeah, it's the disc here, that blue LED behind it. You can turn that on and off with the switch, which is down under there. And then it's just got these wings coming off, which is stuck onto the window. Go all the way along to about there. Yeah, not too bad. It definitely does a good job reception wise though. Yeah, got radio.
Andrea, Jeff.
We've even got AM, and I can seek up and it will stop on 612, which is Christchurch's weakest AM station, so that's good. It's getting all of that. Only one so far that I've seen it miss is 98.5 FM. That is a very weak station though. Let's try, see if it's there manually. No, it's just straight up not there. It is a bit of a funny one though. Might be a dead spot here where we are. Might be better outside, but still.
Brownie to go. Wild Bean Cafe at BP has just what
good.
you're looking for.
And the stereo, so I actually ended up having to put some trim rings behind the cage to space it out a wee bit, because the overall depth of the stereo was like only just gonna, like, it barely hardly even fit in with those spaces. I had to space it out because the loom was sticking into the back wall behind the stereo, but that looks good. Well, that's it guys, the Holden Special is officially done. Sounds really good. There's good power, good bass. These Alpine Type Rs are always just absolutely legendary when you're running them off a head unit. You get so much out of them for what you pay, and for a pretty simple install, it sounds awesome. There we go. Alpine UTE-62EBT, Alpine RS UTE-62EBT, is that the code for them? I can't remember. Type R components in the front. Now, so the thing is, because we've been told they're not called Type Rs anymore, we've been told that they're now R series and they're rebranding it a wee bit, but I still call them Type Rs. It's an old habit, die young. So the components in the front, RS69s in the back, the Type R 6x9s or R series. And yeah, that's everything. And then that little area up on the dash, and that's everything we've done. Pretty simple little job, but it sounds really, really good. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit the thumbs up. I will post photos of this car up on my Facebook page. If you haven't checked that out already, it's just, no, I can't remember the URL. Just go to Facebook and search in the search bar, car audio, etc, etc. And it's got the exact same logo and everything like that. It's very easy to find. And the link is in the description, so you can just click on that. That'd be easier, wouldn't it? So thank you for watching this video, guys. Choose to be happy. Hopefully the audio quality in this video has been an improvement. Thanks for watching. Kite Ano.